Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cosmic Conversations. I'm your host, Sheila Seppi, and I want to welcome you tonight to this episode. We have a special guest who will be joining us a little bit in a few minutes, but I want to do a couple things first. I want to let you know about some of the updates that we have coming. First, with the Conscious Awakening Network.org. When you go to that website, probably about middle of September, you're going to find a brand new look and a brand new feel. We also are going to have a section for membership for exclusive content only. Some of the things that we can't air on this particular network or some of the other networks. And so we have a lot of shall we say, a lot of governmental information that's going to be coming up, a lot of secret space, a lot of wonderful, wonderful information to share with you guys. So be sure to keep an eye on that because I cannot wait to share that with you. Now, in the meantime, you can still continue to visit our website and go through all of our various channels, or you can check us out on YouTube. And we have most all of our, just as a backup, we have our videos in the playlist area. So please visit that, check it out, and keep your fingers crossed that everything goes smooth and we have this brand new look and feel come the middle of the month. Now, we'll still have our same platforms. We'll still be on Roku, Amazon, Apple TV, Android TV, all of our podcasting formats, all of our other social media platforms. And we're very, very excited about all of that. So I just had to give you a little sneak preview. So tonight, our special guest, and honey, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Elies Hadi. Now, Elies has been guiding starseeds and light workers and healer in their awakening journey since 2016. And she had her very own special awakening that I'm hoping that she's going to share a little bit with us tonight. So she focuses on helping people to wake up to their calling and to remember their gifts and to activate their highest timeline. She also is the host of Starseed Goddess podcast, where she talks about all things woo. I loved that. All things woo. She believes that the awakening journey can be playful, yet very, very powerful. So tonight, she's going to talk about Starseed's Awakening, a journey remembrance. And so, if you have ever wondered if you're a starseed, we're going to get some information tonight that's going to help you to figure that out. So, without any further ado, I want to go ahead and bring up Elias. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Sheila. I'm good. Thank you. Yourself?
I am very well. And am I pronouncing your name correctly?
My name is Alice, but thank you.
Alice. Okay. Okay. Well, I
Can you
wasn't
hear
quite
me well,
sure.
though?
Yes, we can hear you very well and see
Perfect.
you perfectly. So, welcome to Cosmic Conversations. I'm excited to have you here tonight. So, I know that you have put together a special format. I believe that you're going to be offering a meditation, and I'm just going to go ahead and turn it over to you. And just know that we will be asking you lots and lots of questions tonight. So, thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. And if you will share just a little bit of your journey about your awakening as a star seed.
For sure. Thank you, Sheila, and welcome everyone who is here. It's a pleasure to have all of you here tonight with me. And as Sheila mentioned, I have a very special format tonight that I am actually doing it for the first time because I just received this fresh new download 2 nights before. It was literally right after I talked to Sheila and we confirmed everything, and then boom, word per word, I literally see this vision of tonight. And so here I am living out the very timeline I'm seeing. So let's journey in and have lots of fun tonight. And I actually changed a little bit of the format. I might actually be channeling light language instead of the traditional meditation if you may, but we will see where spirit leads us. So I'm gonna start with, let's just together take a moment to ground ourselves wherever we are, whether you're joining us live or a replay. Take this moment to be with yourself and give all parts of you full permission to relax, letting your nervous system know it's okay to relax. And as you allow your full mind, body, soul to relax, you open up your heart and your channel and your senses to receive exactly what you need today with ease, with clarity and joy. And just taking the next moment of silence to set your intention for this circle, for there is strong power in intention. And whenever you are ready, you can then slowly open your eyes and welcome back. So for those of you, if you already know you are a starseed, you can drop one in the chat or in the comment, depending on where you are tuning in from. And if you are not sure if you are one, drop two below. So if you already know you're a starseed, drop one. And if you're not sure, drop two. So for the purpose of being on the same page, when I talk about starseed, my definition of starseed is soul who reincarnated into Earth in this lifetime, who originally come from other planet than the Earth. And most of them are from the star or the galaxy, and hence the name Starseed. So that's how I define it, and that's what I'm going to refer to when we talk about tonight. So a lot of you may wonder, like, what are the common signs of being a starseed? How do I know if I'm a starseed? And the beauty of it is there is no fixed answer just with any awakening journey. There is no rules to it. I mean, sure, if we actually Google it, you're going to find a lot of the common signs of being starseed. And I can share some with you tonight as well. But the message that comes in so strongly for this tonight is to really look out for the signs from the universe. Like the very fact that you are drawn to the idea of starseed or the concept of starseed, or the very fact that you are even here tonight. Those are little clues, isn't it? It's like those little nudges and little moments that bring you tonight, bring all of us here tonight. Like this is not coincidence, it's a synchronicity that the universe brought all of us here tonight for a reason. So listen to those signs, because there is no signs that are more validating and confirming than your own signs that you have been given, whether it is, being led to a conversation like this one, or having a book dropping out of shelf and things like that. And I'm going to share my awakening journey soon. And then from there, you can see how everything I've just shared weave in together and why I'm saying what I'm saying. Hope that's making sense for you so far. Just let me look at it. So we have 1 and 2, kind of a good mix. Okay, we have a few. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna start with my awakening journey, then share a little bit of the common signs. So I've been surrounded by starseed like my whole life without realizing that I'm one. That is why I'm telling you guys, listen to the sign and the messages is right under your nose for all you know, if you will just look at it, right? And so I've been guiding Starseed light workers and healers since 2016. But even prior to that, I was already in my own journey. And almost all of my friends who are in my spiritual community, they will always share stories like, oh, I just met my star family. I come from Orion, and then I see the stars and the blue light, whatever, whatever their story is. And I remember I was like, it's weird. So it was just something that I was like, okay, I hear you, I see you, but like, I don't really know what you're talking about. But then it was just like planting the seed, right? It was like incubation period, if you may. Like all the signs are already there, helping me to integrate, leading me up to the moment for where I'm ready. For however long it takes, it can be months, it can be years, it can be days. In my case, it was a few years before I had that aha moment, which actually happened when I was in Bali. So in Bali, once a year, we have what we call a silent day, where for that night, the entire city have to have our lights turned off, including the street light. There is no vehicle allowed outside. So it's literally a silent day. And in that night, it is super, super dark, but super, super bright on the sky. So I remember seeing the Milky Way for the first time that night in my whole life. And I was just totally drawn and totally pulled right into what I'm seeing in the stars. Is not just like, oh, it's pretty. It's that feeling of, oh, this feels so familiar. It feels so at home and so at peace. And that very night, I remember waking up around 4 a.m. and then I feel pulled again to look at the sky. And this time I hear a voice and it said, "You are home and we are always with you." And that moment, I remember I was just smiling and I had like tears just rolling down my eyes because I felt that overwhelming love almost that I've felt for the first time, and it felt so, so, so at home. And immediately I knew there and then that this is like 101% that I'm from the star and that I'm a star seed. And then suddenly all the dots connected. Like, remember how I was sharing at the beginning? I was surrounded by starseed my whole life without realizing I am one. How funny was that? But I wasn't surprised knowing I'm one at the same time because I've been prepared this whole time. That is why I was sharing. Whatever your awakening journey looks like, look out for those stars. Look up for those stars, yeah, but look up for those signs. Those signs are preparing you for that moment. And maybe that moment is right now, right? So listen, 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 and trust, trust, trust. And you will know that you receive what you need exactly at the right time, not a moment earlier, not a moment later, because overwhelming of information is a thing. So it is not necessary to figure everything out. And tonight will be, my intention will be to be this gateway or this portal for you to step into your own starseed journey, whether it is the first time you hear about this or for those of you who already know that you are one. Because even if you are already in this journey, there is continuously awakening and deepening and deepening. Because I also have another awakening journey that I'm going to share a little bit later on, which is kind of like phase two, if you may, like if you even want to label it, because it doesn't make sense to do that. But just for the purpose of that, you know that it's like it comes in wave, right? So be open to that. So coming back to the science of being a starseed, from my experience of working with hundreds and hundreds of my students, the most common one that almost every one of them will have is that they have this deep sense of longing for home. Like they maybe don't feel home even in their earth family. I remember one of my students sharing with me that as a child, she was sometimes like wake up and look at her parents or her family and like, where are you guys? Like, because she has such a deep remembrance of her star family. And then although she doesn't have like the word for it as a child, but she know like she will look up at the star and she will be able to like figure out the exact direction as to like, if I look this way, this is exactly where I come from. And when she looked back at home, she's like, oh, but why am I here? This is not where I belong. So there is this deep sense of not belonging and longing for a home and yearning for home and like wanting to belong to a community. It's like you can be searching everywhere, but like even if you're surrounded by hundreds of people, you just don't feel at home. So there is this constant theme that is across most of them. Now, of course, it looks a little bit different. It doesn't always have to look that extreme. As you know, my story, I probably had those signs too, but I didn't realize it until I realized it. So these are just some of the more common signs. And a lot of the other common signs is also like being really drawn to the stars, like the astronomy and the astrology, and also hypersensitive or really in tune with energy, depending on how you want to describe it. Like, because of this overly, it's not overly activated, but it felt like overwhelming senses that where you might have a lot of your senses or clairs open up probably a little bit earlier in their journey, and you find everything is too much for you. And also that causes it to be a little bit challenging to navigate the human body, if you may. Like a lot of starseeds, sometimes, especially if they are not aware they are one and they are new to the journey, they felt that they are not grounded. It's like a common challenge to be grounded because they tend to be vibrating in this like higher body and they kind of want to stay there and forgetting that they are here in a human body to do human thing, whatever human thing is. So that this association with the human body and learning to integrate to coming into the human body and to accept this vehicle that yes, we are light, yes, we are love, we are soul, but we chose this body. So learning to really accept that the humanness is part of the starseedness is another common challenge I found in Starseed. So those are like kind of the common signs and the common challenge if we made that I see in Starseed. And as I said, there are so many of them out there, but I'm not really going to list all of them down because your knowingness is the most important. And the other reason that I don't want to dive too much detail into the science logically is also because later on, I'm going to share a little bit more about my awakening journey with light language, which actually ties everything back for you. And we can actually tap on the power of light language later on in a life journey that I'm going to bring you through that will help you to activate your starseed knowingness. So instead of relying on our human mind and checking the boxes, which, it doesn't really mean anything mentally until you feel it in your body, in your bone, and in your heart. Make sense? So we'll have question time for Q&A towards the end. I believe that is that was what's going to happen. And the other thing that is common that is happening is, so where do I come from exactly from the start? That's another thing that a lot of people have. Like, is it Orion? Is it Lyran, Syrian, Lemurian, Pleiadian, whatever name that you might have heard that you wonder which one is it? Is it one? Is it all of them? And most importantly, does it matter? Do I need to know? Yes or no? And this is similar to what I shared earlier because whether like you can go through a lot of technique, like there are so many modality and techniques out there that can easily churn out a report to tell you where your soul come from, why you are here, and like it can be 100 pages for all you want, and it means nothing until it means something. And most importantly, the theme that is coming really strongly is to let go of expectation. When somebody sometimes hear another person's journey, they start to have expectation on how they want their awakening journey to be like. So, for example, it might be I see someone who come from Lemuria, and then I hear that the Lemuria has this gift and that gift and that gift, right? And then I'll be like, oh, I also want that. And there is nothing wrong with wanting that, but you are just maybe trying to be someone else that maybe you are not. I mean, if you're from Lemuria, great, it's a spot on, but you might find yourself fall into the ego trap of wanting to have what somebody else, wanting to be what somebody is doing and do what other people are doing, and forgetting why you are here and who you are and what you are meant to do for yourself, which is why it's always coming back to that inner knowing rather than trying to like have like those names and being attached to it, because that's another thing. It doesn't help to be attached to the name or the origin. Like knowing where you come from help. I'm not saying that you shouldn't ever find out. I mean, go ahead and find out. Like you can have those Akashic reading done, all the astrology, not astrology report, like galactic report done, like whatever you want to have it done, go and do it, but do not be attached by it. Do not put more meaning than it is. It is what it is, and that's it. And you will have your own version of your awakening journey in whatever way and shape and form. So with that, I'm going to very soon jump into light language to help you guys tap into that remembrance journey. And for the purpose of those who might not have heard of light language, then light language, for the best simple term I can explain it is basically an energy transmission through sound. In this case, I'm going to use my voice and my sound. So it's just an energy transmission, and it really helped you to assess your multidimensional self and expect and really activate your soul remembrance journey in a way that it really bypasses the mind and goes really deep down into the cellular and DNA level, really awakening those dormant DNA and helping you to remember who you are, why you are here, and what you are here to do. And that's basically my entire mission, like that's how I built my entire work, is around that purpose of helping people awakening to their own truth through light language, through other modalities, through my offerings, and all of those. And if you are new to light language, you might find that, oh, it sounded very different, and yet it's very familiar depending on your experience. Just remember that it is not meant to be analyzed from your mind. It's something to be felt from your heart and soul. So just be open to the transmission that is coming through and allow yourself to receive it. And even in all these words that is being shared, they are not just words. There's activation, there's healing, there's energy going on. And like I've been speaking light language since 2016, and it helped me to remember so many things about myself, and also remember to let go of expectation. You might feel something tonight, you might not feel anything at all. It's all cool. You might have the aha tonight, or a week later, or a month later, who knows? But something is happening behind the scene. Even if you do not see it or understand it, your journey is yours. And my light language journey has led me to connect and remember my star origin, which is one of them being the Pleiadian. So it started with me channeling light language for a crowd, just like, with you guys tonight. And halfway through the channeling, I felt a new energy that I have not felt before. And then I trusted it, I surrendered it, and I let it come true. And I knew there and then it was Pleaidian Star Mothers. But I'm not sure if that's where I come from yet. I was just like, okay, they want to come true. And very soon after that, I felt I started seeing a lot of blue light during my meditation. And it started with like a sparkles and just flashes, and those flashes gets brighter and clearer over time. And then the next thing I know, in my meditation, I'm seeing like a whole council of Pleaidian Star Mothers sitting right there. And that's when I knew and I knew and I know, okay, I'm 100% sure. So if you are like me, you might be, wanting a few confirmations. So yeah, follow those black nudges and those confirmation. So that's how light language helped me to open up this entire soul remembrance journey. And that's why I love this modality so much. And that's why I want to share with you guys tonight. So if you're driving, probably you come back to the light language another time. I really do not recommend for you to listen to this when you are driving or doing any work that require concentration, because depending on the person, it can have everybody can have different experience, from relaxing to calming to having a little bit, be feeling a little bit lightheaded and everything in between. So honor yourself, honor the journey, treat it like a meditation. So if you desire, you can lie down, sit, close your eyes, and do whatever that gets you into that feel. So, and then after that, we're gonna open for Q&A, because I can talk forever, but I want to hear from you guys. And yeah, so let's just do this first. Closing your eyes and just taking a moment to soften into the now, to drop into the present moment. And to really just be here and now. Placing your hands on your heart. And feel into your heart space. Perhaps this is the first time you connect with your heart today, or the last time before you sleep. And allowing yourself to honor where you are right now. Whatever you are feeling right now, it is valid. There is nothing wrong with you. You don't have to do anything else or be anywhere else. Simply be you and be here. And if you will just allow your heart to soften, and imagine a lotus flower opening up in the center of your heart, opening, softening, and receiving all the light that is coming through, all the love that is here for you. Opening your heart to receive, expanding your aura to receive, allowing yourself to experience the healing, the activation, and the remembrance of who you are. remembering that light language is to be felt from the heart. It is my soul speaking to yours. Taking one deep breath in and out. Breathing in and let everything else go. Ia trayaku alana hia salataya nalakia lataya alana ia rata. Ia talaku ira nalahia salah. Ea talaku ia nalahea tayakaya lana ia. E talatu alana ea. Ea tarayakaya lana hea sayala. Iaku inala ea taya. Ea la ualada. Ea nala saya taya hea sa. Iala Yahuanaya, Iala Yahuanaya, Easaya Kualaya, Easaya Kualaya, Iaraya Tualaya, Iaraya Tualaya, Easaya Kualana, Easaya Kualana, Iana heanaya, eataya kuanaya, eataya kuanaya, elasaya kuanala, iataya kianaya, ialaya kuanaya, eanaya kualaya, ianaya kianaya, iataya kua, ialaya kia, eatala kuanaya, hea hea, iataya ki, elata, iana. Ia tai kia la hia ta la tia saya. Ua kia. Ia la naya hia ta. Ea saya kaya na la hia na. Ea tai ka la hea raya. Ia na la kia raya taya naya. Ea tai sah ta la kua. Kua la na ia. Ela na taya kua. Ea saya. Tsiklata kiana. Kiitalaka heala. Hia salana hia, elana ya kualana hia, e ataraka ya na la hia na ya ke ataya kualana hia tayaka. Ia la na hia na la ia la tayakua. Uala na hia na la hia na la ia na la tuala. E asaya kaya, ia la na hia, e atarayakua la na ia. Ua lana hia tai akua, ia lana hia na la ua, e ana la kaya naya, e asaya taya naya, e la taraya kua naya, e ala taya kaya naya, hea taya kua la, ia naya kaya taya kala naya, e ana la, ia ana la kaya naya, e asaya taya, e ala haya, hea saya taya taya kala naya, ia na la ua la taya kala taya ua raya. Ea taya kayana. So just letting the next few moments to let yourself come back to the present moment and letting the energy sink in and integrate, receiving what you need and release the rest. I just want to seal this practice with a reiteration of the message that is really coming through tonight in reminding each and every one of us to let go of the expectation on how your awakening journey may look like. Just because someone is clairvoyant and see more than you do doesn't mean you have to be clairvoyant. You can be one if you want to, or maybe for you, it's more of about hearing and feeling and just knowing, not so much of seeing, and that's okay. And just because someone channel energy a certain way doesn't mean you have to do it the same way. You are already born an innate channeler. When you start writing and channeling those messages, those are channeling too. It doesn't always have to look a certain way your mind make up to be. And just because somebody is doing something for their work or in their life, whatever that something is, doesn't mean that you are in the wrong path because you are doing different thing. If there is anything, Starseed are very different. We often feel different from others, and that's very normal for us. So follow your own new normal and embrace your uniqueness, your quirkiness, your starseedness, and your humanness, embodying that starlight and that human body to allow that integration to support you in your personal mission and your collective mission, fulfilling who you are while you are here and doing whatever you feel like doing. That is of the highest good of all. And be open to trust the signs that come through, to listen to the nudges, and to take the action towards that. And let go of everything else, especially things that are outside of you, they are beyond your control. Go inward. Everything exists right here, right now. And you get to tap into your highest timeline in a second. It doesn't have to be complicated. Every time you make a new decision, you open up a new timeline. So be conscious in your moment-to-moment awareness, in your moment-to-moment decision, and your beingness is all there is. And so it is. Breathing in and out. And let everything out. And whenever you are ready, you may start to wriggle your fingers, wriggle your toes, taking deep breath in and out, putting a smile on your face, and a bigger smile on your heart. And whenever you are ready, you can open your eyes. knowing when you open your eyes, you're opening to a new frequency, new vibration, and new reality right here, right now. And with that, I'm opening the floor for you to share your experience or ask your questions.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead. If anyone has any questions or they have an experience that they would like to share, please go ahead and raise your hand or come off mute.
Sheila,
So,
I got a
yeah.
Yeah.
question.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So you mentioned, by the way, I loved it. There's just a soft motherly energy, right? Which is leading me to the question of Pleiadian Star Mothers. I think I heard you mention that. Could you talk a little bit about that initial experience and kind of how they support you?
Yes, yes. And so it is really interesting because I have actually been given a vision of me few years back when, like you have those meditation where you look into the vision of your future self. And I remember I saw myself being very goddessy, if there is such a word, like just
Sure.
very motherly, very gracious, very goddessy. But I couldn't really resonate with those energy back then. But I saw myself and I was like, okay. And I kind of let it go, never really think about it because I can't force myself to be a certain way. So then when I first experienced the Pleaidian Star Mother is when this exact same energy that I was describing start to come in. So that's how it helped me to embody my highest vision by remembering where I come from and having, it doesn't there's another thing that I kind of just want to point out to you. Like, it doesn't necessarily always mean that if you work with Pleaidian Star Mother, you have to come from Pleiadian. It is not exactly like that. It just happened to be in my case that I come from there and I remember that and I resonate with the energy. But anyone can work with the Pleiadian Star Mother. So it will help you to support, obviously, also, motherly energy, whatever you define motherly. Like, motherly can look very different for everybody. But specifically, how it supports my journey is it helped me to embody that highest vision of mine. And ever since I started to working with that energy of the Pleiadian Star Mothers, since they come true, I see myself literally stepping into a new reality and a new version of myself, like just like that, like
Mhm.
without even trying. And I was just like, I remember last month I was doing a Starseed activation similar to something like this, but totally different format. And at that moment, I was like, oh, this is everything I've seen in that vision few years back. And then suddenly I was like, this is why my podcast is called Starseed Goddess, because it's that exact energy that I didn't know, but then now
Mhm.
I know. And that leads me to the embodiment part. So
Yep.
embodiment is very important as part of the awakening journey. And I hope that answers your question.
It does. You totally embody that frequency. Just you nail it. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
Beautiful. I want to have a follow-up question to that. Do you
Yeah.
think that the Pleiadian Star Mothers are a future version of yourself?
I believe they are my past, my present, and future because of this again depends on everybody's belief because I believe that everything exists right here, right now, and we are living this parallel, I can never get that word right, alternate reality, parallel reality. This parallel reality and that the past, the present, future exist all at the same time. So you can see it as it is my past version coming to the here and now, giving me this information, or you can see it as my future self coming into here and now, giving you this information. Because as far as the linear time is concerned, they don't exist the way we think they are. But if you want to really look at it in a linear way, even, I believe that everything I do right now can change the past if it makes sense because it happened right here, right now, which means everything I do affect everything. It affect all the dimension and reality and the timeline that concerns me. yeah, so I hope that answers your question too, Sheila.
Absolutely, it does. All right. Does anyone else have any questions? You want to
Or
share a
just
little bit?
anything you want to share from the light language, if any,
Would you be
otherwise.
would you
Mm-hmm.
be open to questions about star seeds as well?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm open to
Okay.
any questions. It's just I'm saying if you don't have questions, you can also share because it helped to share your experience just to kind of help you integrate. And I think I see a hands up.
Yes. Hey, Drew.
Hello.
Hi,
Uh,
Drew.
Hi. Thank you for this. My question is when I was reading a book, for example, about different star races, and
Mm-hmm.
I resonate to one thing in one and one thing in another and three things in another. And other than star races moving around, what, how do you see us resonating with multiple star systems?
Great question. And that is exactly why I'm not a big fan of like listing down logically all the traits because that's exactly what happened to me and a lot of my students. Again, those information help. I'm not saying we have to dismiss it. They are there for a reason. They help you to the degree it helped you. And and the direct question to the direct answer to your question is possible to come from multiple star system. So that might be why you resonate to more than one of them. And also at the same time, those information can be confusing if you are just trying to logically understand that because it will, I mean, think about it logically. It will make sense to resonate at least to one of them, right? I mean, we are like we are multi-dimensional being. We have so many different parts of us. There gotta be one that resonate, whether it is because that's who we are or that's how we are trained to be. So if you see a aspect from a star race, for example, it might say that they are very highly intellectual, very logical, very systematic. I'm just quoting an example. But then you might say, okay, that's how I resonate, right? But are you resonating that just because that's how you have been trained your whole life? Or is that really you're resonating because that's is your innate gift? You know what I'm saying? So in one way or another, it's common to resonate with all of them, but then that's why I come back to that knowingness and that feeling of like following the signs and letting whatever come true come to you. And as a start, if it helps, pick one that is like shouting at you and start with that. Like, so if for me, obviously it's the Pleiadian and then another one is the Lemurian for me. So I still work with the rest of them, but I don't like force myself to fit into any of the boxes. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I would say one other thing to talk about one of the signs,
Mm-hmm.
like you're missing home. I remember
Mm-hmm.
having that about 3 years ago. I was driving to work, and I was in the beginning of a time where I was accelerating, understanding who I was, and I was looking at the red mountains to the west of Las Vegas, and I started crying, and I realized that I was missing home. And I told it to the person I was working with at the time, and she couldn't relate at all to what I said. And I was glad that I was able to hang on to that and realize that it meant something because it was a very powerful resonance, and that it took a while to understand what that meant.
Mm.
Great.
Thank you
Thank
for
you so
sharing your
much.
experience. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Thank you, Drew. Does anyone else have any questions, any comments? Because I have a few. Give you guys a couple. Okay. All right. So here we go. Um, So you talk about your students. Can you share with us a little bit about the offerings that you have? Share your website as well.
Yeah. So I have a Starseed Awakening course, which is an on-demand course. So when I talk about my students, I mainly are referring to those who are in that course. And it is designed to do exactly what everything we have shared about, to remember who you are, why you are here, to remember your mission and what you want to do in this lifetime. And it is a combination of a few healing modality from light language to EFT tapping and Akashic journey. It helps you to activate your starseed codes and your DNA codes as well, those dormant codes that are lying dormant. And it also helps you to remember your starseed gifts. Like I have students who also remember their starseed name even. And you get to experience it in your own way because it's your journey. So that is an on-demand course. And I actually have it all on the website, so it's very easy for you to navigate it. And my website is elieshadi.com. You can find all the offerings I have over there. And I also actually help people to speak their own light language if that is something that some of you might feel resonating with, that you want to actually learn a new modality, whether it's for yourself or for your work. I also have that as an on-demand course together with a Voxer support and also a one-on-one mentorship if that is something that feels more supportive for you. And yeah, again, like all my information, the website, Instagram, YouTube, they're all by my name, Alice Hadi. With the exception that's different is my podcast that is called Starseed Goddess.
All right. Thank you so much. So I want to kind of circle back. You originally opened up with a question about people being a star seed. I want to ask those individuals that said, yes, I know that I'm a star seed. Maybe if you could share a little bit about how you discovered your own star seedness. There's anybody that would like to share? Okay. All right. Well, great. Then I can ask another question. So you told us, things come to you like in waves, as far as the information and the downloads are concerned. Could you share with people a little bit about what that wave feels like and how it might unfold differently for different people?
That's a great question. So it comes back to knowing your gifts or your clairs and how spirit communicate with you. So for me, my strongest one is knowingness. So that's why I talk a lot about knowingness. So for me, that wave comes in instant knowing. Like I mean, like when I meditate, I might see different vision every day, but there will be one vision that just is shouting at my face and it feels real. It feels right here, right now. And it's just shouting. That's how it feels like to me. And that knowingness with certainty, no doubt, no question. So that's how I know that that is like the wave, so to speak. And I mean, honestly, you can really miss an awakening moment. It's just how easy it feels, but you can't really miss it. And even if you miss it at that moment, when you circle back, you got it. So, and it might look different for everyone, depending on, maybe for some people, they are seeing more. So like, again, if I use my example, I'm also seeing the blue light, which then reveal and tell me that they are the Pleaidian Star Mothers. And there are people even who receive the information in their dreams. So maybe you might be dreaming and then it feels so real, but then you don't know if it's real because it is the dream. But then, if it feels really real and if you resonate with the information, it might be a download. So yeah, it might look very different from people, because even with my students, when I'm working with them, I hear different story from people who actually start, like, for example, I have a student who has a name that was given to her that is not, not her birth name, but a name that she received in one meditation like years ago. And she never understood why she has this name. And she just kind of stay with it. And she has like, done readings and asked questions and all those, but she still never get it until, like when she go through the course and in one of the processes, she realized that, oh my God, that's her starseed name. And then immediately everything, come back to that aha moment that that's why I was given this name. So yeah, it looks different for everyone. As I say, it can take moments, it can take years, but if you are open and willing, it always circle right back in.
Wonderful, beautiful, and thank you. Hey, Ken, do you have another question? I know
No,
that you said
go
that you were
ahead.
kind of perusing her website a little bit earlier today.
And I love it. I
He loves
absolutely
it.
love your website. It's so elegant. It's so well done. But one of the things I was wondering is we talk about the divine feminine, right? Is your audience the ones that show up typically seeking the support of the divine feminine, if you will, versus the divine masculine? I mean, is that your strong spot, or does not matter what kind of clients show up? You support, I guess, both energies, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's actually, I have not ever think about it, but I think I know where your question is coming from because you probably have seen I will speak more like from like talk about women and things like that. And but I work with man and woman. It's just
Okay.
that because it's more of resonating with the divine feminine, regardless of
Mhm.
you are a man or a woman. So
Okay.
there are men who come to me who are, loving the divine feminine support, and that's totally open for them too.
So I guess a follow-on question on, after you've done your activations and you brought in the awareness that says, you're a Pleiadian or an Orion or Syrian, Lyrian, so on and so forth. What do you do for that client next? Like, is there a support? Do you help them turn on their gifts? Or, I mean, what do you do after that? So there's the initial activations and getting them aware of who they are, but what happens after that for them?
So I have that on-demand course, which is, like as you were sharing, right? Help them to remember who they are and their activation, their gifts and everything. And then I also have what I call like the 5D business alchemy, which is to support those who, now you know your gift, you know your mission, you know what you want to do, and you know how you want to help people. And if you are ready to bring it to the world and give birth to the vision that you see and to embody the energy in its fullness, not just, I mean, yes, in your beingness, but also in your business, if that is what you want to do. And then, then they can join me for the 5D business alchemy to bring their vision into life and to really do business from a new earth leader perspective and like let go of everything you have learned in your business school, because I knew I had so much business traumas from all the thing I've learned there that it served me at the point and I love them and I thank you for them, but it no longer serves me now, and I still see people getting stuck in that, right? So that's
Mhm.
why I created this. That's why it's called an alchemy, to help you transform all those like old stories about the 3D business and really lead from a 5D point of view of being a leaders, light workers and healers and whatever you call yourself.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Beautiful. Thank you. And as we begin to wrap this evening up, could you share one more time your website with people and maybe spell it for them?
Yeah, it's elieshadi.com. So ELIESHADI. So
Beautiful.
elieshadi.com. Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you. And do you have any final comments that you want to leave people with?
Just trust yourself and follow the nudges and take the action.
Beautiful.
And
Thank you
thank you
so
for
much.
having me tonight, everyone.
Thank you so much for being here
Thank
and
you.
everyone. You've been listening to Elies Hadi, and you can check her out at her website, elieshadi.com. And so until we are all back together again, I want to thank you for being here. If you're watching us on YouTube, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. So thank you so much again, Elies, and we're sending much love and light to everyone. Namaste and have a beautiful week. Thank you so much for
Thank
being.
you.
Good night, everybody.